Thank you for trying TechSmith's Camtasia Relay.
Hi, this is Pam Yerke. I'm here to do a little bit of an overview of the advocacy paper and to guide you in a help session to get your paper started. Keys to success on the advocacy paper include, first of all, reading the information in the Nurse 420 course Blackboard site. There's lots of information there to help you with this paper. Click on the course menu, Course Projects, Advocacy Paper. You can find the guidelines and evaluation criteria which are important to read through, tips and frequently asked questions from other students who've completed this project in the past. Forms for doing the self and peer review are included here. There's lots of information on writing and APA resources. And finally, there's information on how to submit the advocacy paper at the deadline. There's also a sample letter, paper, and help session guide posted in the course Blackboard site. Click on Weekly Classes Week 9 to find that information. The advocacy paper is not like your usual term paper. And the main reason this is so is because of the target audience of the paper. The audience for this paper is a policymaker. A policymaker is somebody who's in a position of authority who can make a decision about a request that you are making. Policymakers are busy people. They prefer that the language in a paper that you submit be clear and direct. They also want to know what the problem is from the very beginning of the paper. They want to know exactly what policy action you want from them, also from the beginning of the paper. And it's very important that you have strong and reliable sources to back up your message. The first page of your term paper is going to be very important because it creates the tone and the focus for everything else that follows in the paper. It can literally determine whether the policymaker even reads the rest of the paper. So I've created a help session activity. We'll do this week and next week in either the live or the online sections of this class. To do this help activity, you should pair up, and each person in the pair should bring a first page draft of their advocacy paper. This does not have to be perfect. It is a draft. The idea is that you should each exchange the first page of your draft and read them. And then you should talk about the paper. If you do not yet have a first page draft of your advocacy paper, and we spend time on these help sessions in class, you can use the time to work to write out a clear problem statement and a policy action that is direct and specific. So the question that we're looking to answer in this first page is really, what is the author saying is the problem? So on the first page draft, if the problem is not yet clear, talk it through with your partner. Try to find ways to make the general problem clearer to the reader. Some questions may help make that problem clearer. What health issue is the policy intended to address? How will the policy affect health? What will be better as a result of doing this? Tell the author of the draft what you believe the policy action is. Say it in your own words back to the author and see if it's really what the author has written on the page. If it's not clear, try together to identify what would help it to be clearer. You're working to help each other get the policy action so it is clear and understandable to both the reviewer and the author. So a question might be, what does clear and specific mean when we're talking about a policy action? In your paper, try to aim for a precise, assertive statement. So here's a clear example. Please vote yes on Senate Bill 123 to require nursing schools to have a 1-hour nap period each day of classes. It's clear the policymaker knows that you want them to vote on a specific bill and you want them to vote yes. It's not as clear if you say, please support a bill to require nursing schools to have a 1-hour nap period each day of classes. That's less clear. Support is a weasel word. Policymakers can say they support something and still not vote for or take action on it. Clearer direction is given when the action is specified exactly. So tell them, vote yes, vote no, draft a bill, create a policy. Also, specify a bill number if a bill number is appropriate, or use a title to describe your policy action. If you and your partner have time when you're doing this help session, and if both partners have written more than page 1 of their draft paper, you can go ahead and talk about the rest of the paper. After the problem introduction and stated policy action on page 1 should come a background, supporting evidence and arguments. There should also be some kind of counter arguments. And finally, near the end should be a conclusion with the policy action restated one more time. The paper actually becomes what I call a policy sandwich, with the policy, problem, and specific action on page 1. Then there's more information about your policy action, and on the last page of the paper there's a conclusion with the policy action stated one more time. Don't forget, plan to celebrate when your paper is done. We will be talking more about the advocacy paper. I have sample papers in my office. You can also make an appointment if you're having difficulty and you want to talk some more about your paper. And in the future we'll talk more about the letter that accompanies your paper.
Thank you for trying TechSmith's Camtasia Relay.